No.
There we go.
All right, Mahoney.
All right. Woody, are you with us? Says he's connecting to audio on my end.
There he is.
Hey, he's moving.
Oh,
I think he can hear us.
Wait, can you hear us?
I can now, yes.
All
All
right.
right.
Well,
Who picked this dog anyway?
yeah.
It was the Swede.
Yeah. Okay, so the Quiet Man is director John Ford's ode to his ancestral home. He was not born in Ireland. He was born in Maine, but his parents immigrated after the Irish potato famine in the 1840s, and he grew up in Maine, Bangor, Maine, if I remember. And to this day, this film is viewed almost every year by lots of Irish Americans as part of their St. Patrick's Day celebrations. And I think it's viewed that way for the same reason that some people latch on to different movies at Christmas time. If it's a Christmas Carol or whatever, because it and those sorts of movies tend to reaffirm a time or a yearning for a time and place that actually never did exist, but we all yearn for it. This is not an original story. It was written in the 1930s by the guy by the name of Wallace. Excuse me. By Wallace. Ford bought the rights to it for $10, and then he struggled for literally 20 years to try and get the movie made. In fact, Republic Pictures, which produced this or distributed it, insisted that John Wayne and Maureen O'Hara make at least one and maybe two other movies prior to greenlighting this project. One of them was the movie Fort Apache that Republic thought, well, it's a John Wayne Western. However much we lose on this Irish flick, we'll make up on the John Wayne Western. So I believe all of you have seen it. I'm not going to recount the storyline, other to say that the movie went on. It grossed $3.8 million in its original release. It was one of the top 10 excuse me, grossing movies of that year, and it went on to become a St. Patrick's Day holiday tradition here in the United States. It's a very misogynist film in several different ways. How it treats women, how the Catholic Church controls the countryside. A couple of the themes I take away from it are that Sean Thornton Wayne's character seeks renewal by returning to his homeland and trying to erase the path of being a fighter that ended up killing somebody in the ring. And both Sean and Mary Kate, O'Hara's character, and Victor McLaughlin, who plays the older brother, also struggle with pride, their own pride in this thing. And those are themes. And while this is a revered movie, as I mentioned, it was reviewed a couple of years ago by a 26-year-old woman from Ireland, Frances Mulroney, that blasted it and said that the movie doesn't stand the test of time, and says, quote, from the opening train scene where the locals are shown to be dithering and nosy, incompetent, and incompetent enough that a train would arrive at its destination 4 hours late, the stereotypes come fast and furious. The Irish are generally portrayed as a drunken, rural people whose men are always at the pub or betting, and the women are all fiery and bad-tempered and or gossip. Quiet Man was nominated for 7 actors, including Best Supporting Actor for Victor McLaughlin, Best Screenplay and Best Picture. John Ford won for Best Director. Winton Hoke and Archie Stout won for Best Cinematography. And that's a lot of the notes that I had from this. Again, this is a movie about a place that never existed, about a time in Ireland that never existed, but it's one of these things that some people find charming, including me, because it expresses a time and place that never was, but would have been nice had it been. So that's it.
Hey, Mike, on the, it said a couple of places, I remember that it was in Innisfree is where they did it, which as I looked it up, it's an island. Is that right?
Yeah, they shot this in
Yeah, they shot it.
Mayo and Galway on the west
Yeah.
coast of Ireland. They didn't pretend that it was an island community at all. And this is a fictional village, although most of the a lot of the Irish scenes are shot in a place called Cong in County Mayo.
That's what I've read. Yeah. But the setting's supposed to be this island.
No, this is supposed to be this fictional town.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, it's not. It doesn't hold out like Banshees does.
Right.
That they're on an island. Okay, Innisfree is just a fictional name of a town. They happen to shoot it in those two West Irish counties. Those were areas that John Ford's people came from
I got you.
back in the 19th century.
Okay.
So.
I've got a question, Tony. A couple of times when they're going by the cemetery, you see the Celtic crosses. Then there's also kind of a straight obelisk that has it's like Gaelic writing on it. Do you know what that is?
No, I mean they just shot it. The one thing I didn't mention, but I wanted to, over Jeff Copeland's screen is shot of Barry Fitzgerald in a scene from the movie, and Fitzgerald, who plays the part of the matchmaker, the bookie, the town busybody, steals almost every scene that he is in, and Barry Fitzgerald was notorious for doing that, not to deliberately trash or take a scene, but he was a charming character in almost every movie that he made, and whenever he would appear on the screen in any movie, he would dominate his scenes. For instance, he was he played an Irish priest in Going My Way in 1944, I think, with Bing Crosby. And excuse me, I'm sorry about the cough. He plays an aging priest that Bing Crosby is brought in to take over the parish from. And in every scene that he's in that, he steals it. He was a very noted actor in Ireland, and then came over and had a very successful career as a actor in Hollywood. Some leads, lots of supporting roles.
the look on his face in the scene that Jeff has behind him, when he's looking at the bed, wondering, man, somebody got a
That
workout
was-
last night.
Yeah, and in fact, part of his line in that scene that's up by Jeff is Fitzgerald's character, Michelin, looks at the shambles of the bed, which is broken, and goes, "Home, Merrick."
Yeah.
They use that a second time somewhere in the movie, but that was the first time.
Yeah. When they were in the pub, I think when they were starting the fight or something, he also said he was Homeric.
What
And
is
that's
that?
when the time they were in there drinking together at halftime in the fight.
Yeah.
Right.
I've seen this movie a million times, and that thought occurred to me. The young woman that you said wrote a review a couple of years ago or whatever, especially the scene where he's dragging her across the field, getting ready to give her back to his brother. I thought, man, this could not get made today. There's no way in hell that could get made today.
And
You
she
know,
did
and-
that. Go ahead.
Well, all I was going to say was Wayne and his directors reprised that stunt in at least two other John Wayne movies. One called Donovan's Reef, where he ended up spanking his lead lady at the conclusion of the movie after a parade through the streets, and then again in the John Wayne movie McClintock, where there was an even bigger scene where they, unbeknownst to Maureen O'Hara, they literally drug her through sheep shit that they had spread on the side of the hill as a practical joke.
Nice.
So
I saw a YouTube video of her where she talked about that scene. And she didn't think it was funny at all.
You mean in McClintock?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were talking about McClintock. It was her and John Wayne. They were both on this YouTube video talking about that scene.
She did all that scene where they drug her along. She did that live, right? That was all her.
best I know, yeah.
My wife read something about that and said, yeah, she got pretty beat up by that scene and wasn't real happy about it.
The other little point of trivia on it is the guy that plays the accordion in the pub is a guy by the name of Ken Curtis, who was in the Sons of the Pioneers, had his own acting and musical career of his own. He was John Ford's son-in-law, and he's also probably best known
From Gunsmoke.
generation as Festus from the old movie, from the old TV series Gunsmoke.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And which character was that in this movie?
He's uncredited. He's the accordion player that is in the pub while they're playing Wild Colonial Boy and whatever else music's going on.
The young priest that was in that movie with the dark hair was Maureen O'Hara's brother, Father Paul. Thank you, Cecilia. Just had to assist my wife. Yeah, Father Paul.
Credit where credit's due, huh?
Yeah.
I saw there were a few of Wayne's children in it too, uncredited. Patrick Wayne and I think a niece or something and another son or something.
I think it was daughter. It was
His daughter. Yeah, his daughter.
Oh,
Yeah,
his daughter. Yeah.
she was in the scene at the horse race on the beach,
Right.
sitting in one of the wagons, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, I
What
also
year?
enjoyed seeing Ward Bond in there too. You know, the head of Wagon Train, right? Wasn't he like the top guy in Wagon Train?
And he also played was kind of part of John Ford's ensemble, and was in a lot of Ford's movies. And then this Victor McLaughlin that played Will Danaher in this movie was another frequent member of Ford's cast. And in fact, McLaughlin in the 1930s won one of the very first Oscars for best actor. He was in another John Ford production, I think, called The Informer, which is a really dark tale about betrayal and in Ireland during their civil war, and it's dark as hell. It seems like it's made after a movie called or a stage play called The Shadow of a Gunman, but I'm not sure about that. But McLaughlin had a long career, and his son ended up directing a lot of John Wayne movies. So I mean, there's lots of connections there.
Wow.
The reason that movie is important to Mahoney is because he crashed at our house the night he and I watched that, bombed up. And then C and I had to leave for work the next morning. We left Mike a cup of coffee, and we left him a note in the bathroom. When you get done taking a piss, there's a cup of coffee waiting for you in the kitchen. But we watched that movie. That's a great movie, by the way. The Informer. It's a black and white film from 1922. Very good movie.
1935.
So I have a question.
Correct, yeah, I'm sorry. It was based on something that happened in 22. Yes, 1935. You are correct, sir. Yeah.
So I have a question for the local experts. What is an ogue?
Oh, it's another way of saying son of. A lot of times right now, people will just say O'Shannon, O'Hogarty, or something like that.
Okay.
It's an older style way of saying the son of, and it's OGE is the way it's pronounced, and yeah, you can hear it pronounced like that in there, but that's all it means. It's just like an O in front of another Irish name means son of.
In my name, MCC has the same meaning, son of.
Well, we have a perfectly fine movie going along, and then everybody stops and bursts out singing. Like, oh, this is like, oh, I didn't know it was a semi-musical. And I like the color. I guess that's Technicolor.
Yeah,
And
it's one of the few times Republic agreed to shoot something in color, and I guess when they showed the movie to public executives, one of them said, "Everything's green. What's with that?" And they said, "Well, we shot it in Ireland, man." And then the other thing is they wanted Ford to bring this movie in at or under 2 hours. And so when they showed it, it runs 2:10. When they showed it to the executives, they're right in the middle of the climactic fight scene where Ford flips the switch and goes, "Okay, we're at 2 hours. What do you want me to do?" And they go, "No, go ahead. Yeah, finish."
Very clever.
And I don't know how much the sun shines in Ireland, but everybody seemed pretty tan.
They're all from Southern California.
The Tan O'Shanter.
And it was beautiful. I like the scenery. I mean, Ireland just looks beautiful, man. It's like, whoa. And all the old stuff and no cars. And I thought we were going to get by without a handgun, but oh no. Right there, somebody had to pull one out.
But that was to stop a fight. That was to stop a fight.
I wonder what year it was supposed to be.
In the 20s.
Yeah,
in the 20s.
The Wallace, who wrote it, I think put it in the Saturday Evening Post in 1933, whatever I said. and it was supposed to be set in the 1920s, and the original the original story has a lot more involvement from the politics of the time, including more about the Irish Republican Army and more about the Irish Civil War, and then the Easter Rising. In 1916, but they cleared virtually all of that out to clean up the story, because they wanted Ford wanted to make an idyllic version of his ancestral home. Although he was, as I understand it, very interested with the Irish Republican movement, and was a supporter of it.
And as a fly fisherman, I just loved all those scenes of the priest fishing and all the opportunities for fishing in there. It's just gorgeous.
Yeah, Ward Bond, Father Lonigan.
Yeah.
I
One of my
heard
favorite- Go ahead, Jeff.
okay, I was going to say, I heard we were talking about all the green in this movie, that nobody was wearing green except Maureen O'Hara in the graveyard scene. That's the only time somebody's wearing an actual green outfit, which I thought that was kind of an interesting factoid.
One of my favorite scenes is when the entire village rallies to make a good showing for the Protestant bishop as he's leaving town, just to help out the local reverend there. And when he shows John Wayne the picture of his boxing career, where he's holding up his, he's like 90 pounds soaking wet. That was a good little scene in there.
Have you guys noticed that we've started watching movies from the 1920s, like we're getting ready to celebrate the centennial of that era or something?
Well, it is quite a coincidence. So I kind of had a question about the title of the movie, The Quiet Man. He wasn't particularly quiet or anything, you know. Where do you think the title came from?
There's a reference early on from Nicolene Flynn, who talks about John Wayne just being a silent American that wants to come home, and maybe it's from there, but I'm not sure. At one point, they said the studio wanted to call it The Boxer and the Colleen, and John Ford went, "No, that's giving up the entire premise of the movie. I'm not doing that." So
It might have been the title of the article or the
it might have been. Yeah.
I assume it was the title of the book.
well, a short story. It says in the Saturday Evening Post.
Oh, really? That's where it came from?
Didn't you say Walsh, Maurice Walsh? Isn't that what you said earlier, Mike? Walsh?
Yeah,
That's what it says in what
I might have said Walsh, but it's Walsh. Yeah, and
that's what
Ford,
it says in Wikipedia.
yeah, Ford bought the rights to the story for $10, and then Walsh got additional money later on when like a $2,000 more later on when Republic committed to it, and then another 2,000 or so when they actually shot it. So Walsh ended up, getting $4,000 out of it, 5 grand out of it, and 1950 money.
So about the ending, they became friends.
You mean him and the brother-in-law?
Yeah,
Well, they made peace.
they made peace.
Sure. Yeah. Went out and got drunk, and then they made peace. He brought the brother home to supper.
And so
All good
is it
after that.
is that kind of one of the like biggest misogynistic scenes because they start bossing her around? It's almost like John Wayne is like his brother-in-law or something, and she's just running around filling up coffee for him and serving him. And
Oh yeah, and there's nothing in the movie to me that tells me who won that fight. You know, they make peace. Will Danaher comes over for supper, but you don't know who won the fight.
I thought that was the point because they just battled to a draw and became friends, and that's
Well, you saw the Danaher guy the next day on the cart with the widow lady who was all beat up and stuff.
Yeah.
So
the richest lady in the county.
the John Wayne character guy, he didn't look all beat up to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, and even Maureen O'Hara, when they ended up getting the money, they walked over and threw it into the fire.
Mm-hmm.
It was like, I mean, I think they were telling us something about the Irish.
Well, it was never about the money. It was, I mean, about, it was about Wayne didn't need the money. He didn't want the money, but it was important to her. But she supported his decision to throw it in the fire.
and she wanted her dowry.
Right. Right.
Right. And I mean, the whole business about the cash, to me, was about pride.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
She wanted her furniture, which showed up, and she wanted the money because it was due her. Not that she needed it, but she had earned it.
The quote, Mike, you were talking about from McLean, he's a nice, quiet, peace-loving man, come home to Ireland to forget his troubles.
Right. Yeah.
That's John Wayne's character.
No, that was Barry Fitzgerald's character, McLean O'Flynn.
But referencing Sean Thornton, though.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
I did think that little boxing cutaway to his, his death of his opponent match. I think that was necessary to understand why Troop Thornton was in Ireland now and not still boxing.
Yeah, I agree. I thought it was an important little scene for context.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I enjoyed it. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. I watched the movie, and then it just started up. My TV started up that Across the Rio Grande. Is that the name of it?
Yeah.
The other John Ford, Maureen O'Hara, and anyway, so I got in there, and there was a sergeant in there, and I go, "Isn't that Victor McLaughlin?" And sure enough, it is him. So, and like Mike said, I was looking at him here in Wikipedia, and he is in a ton of movies. Through his first one was in 1920, and it must be 100 movies that he's been in. So it occurred to me that John Ford did have this group that traveled. I mean, I kind of wonder how many films Maureen O'Hara and John Wayne made together, but I bet it was a bunch.
And McLaughlin, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Just one other little thing that I read today that they did this Rio Grande movie, and then they flew from there directly to Ireland to make this movie. So it was like right on the back of each other, and they said that they knew they were going to make a bunch of money off of the Rio Grande movie, but they didn't know if they would make a lot of money off of this movie.
Right. That's why the studio insisted on doing the Western first.
Uh-huh.
Did anybody say how much this movie made?
It grossed 3.8 I don't know what its budget was, but it was among the top 10 box office grosses for 1952.
I'll look up and see how many movies they made together. Well, Donna, I don't know what happened to Gary.
It looked like he might have been home, but maybe his Wi-Fi's not working.
Here's Donna.
Hi.
Donna.
Sorry. Sorry I'm late.
That's all right. All right, guys. We'll see you next week.
Oh, I don't even have any light. All right. There we are.
So one other little question is, why do you think this is like the ultimate St. Patrick's Day movie? I mean, it seemed like Americans anyway would like something like what's it called, Finnegan's Rainbow, or where don't you got some leprechauns running around in that one or something?
Yes.
But
I don't know about the other Irish people, but when I was a kid, we watched every single St. Patrick's Day. We watched this. My sister got married on St. Patrick's Day. I gave her that. That was one of her wedding gifts. To give her a VCR of The Quiet Man. They watched it every year. It's just, I don't know. It's just one of those traditions that everybody loves. It's so Irish.
yeah,
So
it shows
misogynistic. Yeah.
it just shows the culture so well.
Well, it kind of is, I mean, everyone, Donnybrook, everybody knows about, fighting and then becoming friends. It's
Oh, you mean fighting and then drinking and then becoming friends?
Yeah, that's right. Fighting, drinking, or drinking, fighting,
Drinking, fighting, drinking.
Yeah, exactly.
Where do these?
But again, one of my favorites,
come from?
although I just had to laugh, well, I'm sure you guys already talked about it. Here's a nice stick to beat the pretty lady with. Come on. or no patty fingers. I mean, all those things. It's just great, just. And if you've been to Ireland, it is like that, it is so funny. Now it's completely changed. It's gone from that craziness where, how it was back then, to now where they are so progressive and so open to new ideas, and it's a young country and all that. But anyway, I still, I love it, and I haven't figured out why. I'm sure you guys all know about, she broke her hand when John Wayne when she hit John Wayne and he stopped her with his hand. She broke her hand, and she got all the bruises from him dragging her through the streets. Through the countryside and all that, all that you already, I'm sure, have talked about and already know. But, it still is, one of my favorites. I don't know. My husband, who is not Irish, I said, honey, you have to watch this and you're kind of gonna get things. And he went, oh, now I get it. Fighting and drinking. That's kind of like the theme. Yeah.
So Donna, who did you have to get permission from to get married?
Yeah. Well, I was so old that I didn't have to get any permissions. But I have to say, and this is the truth, the first time I bought my first house, they put on it, Donna Doyle, a spinster. I do remember that.
No.
That is absolutely true.
Wow.
And I'm not that old, but that's absolutely true. I remember thinking to myself, what? But yeah, spinster. So anyway,
they made 5 movies together.
Yeah.
John Wayne and Maureen O'Hara.
They had to for
Huh?
And
They
Ford.
had to. That was part of the
No, I
The,
know.
uh,
I know.
Studio
John Ford
contract.
wasn't director for McClintock.
right.
Was somebody else.
Yeah. Yeah. But
Yeah,
so
this
fun.
thing also says that John Wayne's best friends were Ward Bond and John Ford.
Well, of course. Well, you can see it. You know, who was the one? Who was it? Was it Mike that sent that that millennial that what's it called? Popcorn in bed? Who sent that?
Bill.
Bill. Okay, Bill. I mean, I laughed because she was so kind of oblivious to that whole kind of idea, and you know, it was just great. It was just
Yeah.
great.
I could only give that one about 5 minutes.
Yeah, yeah. She was like, yeah, I know. Well, it's just like she did not get any of it. Just didn't get it, you know. But you know, if you've been to Ireland, I think the best thing about the scenery is everyone talks about the 40 shades of green, and it truly is. There are 40 shades of green in Ireland. You know, everything is green and green and green and green and green. And of course, in the movie, every shot has green in it. You know, it was just great. It's just a great movie.
Well, that brings
Did
up
everyone like it?
a little trivia that I learned in art school.
Yes.
Is that optically, visually, they tested people to see how many shades of, red, yellow, blue, orange, purple, green that a person's eye could distinguish. And most colors, most hues, our eye can distinguish 10,000 shades of red. However, we can distinguish 40,000 shades of green.
Wow.
I believe
Well,
it.
because of
I
our
believe it.
environment, because living in the green, it's, we see it so much.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
living and hunting and, surviving in the green. So yeah, we all have a deep attachment to green. I'm the only one wearing green today, by the way.
I've got some
Terry-
green in my sweater.
But is that green? I couldn't tell.
Yeah, I've
Because
got
everything else
It's-
around
it's
you
a
is
shade
green.
of green.
I've got green
My watch
pants
band
on.
is green.
That's right.
My watch band is green.
Terry, you're not bringing up that damn evolution theory again, are you?
No, although it does relate to that, I think.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
so Pete, is this your favorite St. Patty's Day movie too?
I mean, it's like Mike said, it's a tradition to watch
Right.
this on or around St. I'm usually kind of busy on the High Holy Day, but I'm going to watch it in and around that day for sure.
Yeah.
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we all are. I mean, it just brings back all those. Well, anyone that's been to Ireland, it kind of brings back all those memories, and anybody that has relatives in Ireland. It's just fun. To this day, I tell people to go into the pubs. Do not sit at a table. You go sit at the bar, and you're going to meet everyone in the place. And it's true. It's just a fun country.
I'm right here, but I don't know where you are. Look at this guy.
Oh, wow.
Wow, that's like magic.
He's been working on transportation. He's got his own little hookup where he can beam himself over anytime.
Wow.
That's scary.
That reminds me of Star Trek.
That's
Where's
right.
Scotty? Where's Scotty when we need him?
Yes. I can't give her
Transportation.
any more power. Yeah.
Oh, wait,
I
he's
did watch.
reassembling.
I
He's
did watch
reassembling.
the Bono an
Oh.
Edge thing this week, and
I did too.
talking
Oh,
I
about
did too.
Very, very good.
being in
Very
good.
in Dublin. That's there's a comparison right there. Like Donna was saying, it not like it used to be. Well, there's an example of how it is now for sure.
Hmm.
Man,
It's
I
so much more
love that.
progressive. you know, for a Catholic country, and especially now, it's like abortion care is been, you know, that's absolutely, that's part of the law now, you know, that every woman has, you know, has abortion care available to them. And it's like, really, this crazy Catholic country, and that was so anti, and then all of a sudden they just turned around, and it's just really amazing. It's a young country now, and very progressive. As a
They
matter of fact, if we go there now, I can't, and my husband, I don't know, you have to be 60, I think it's 65 in order to rent a car now in Ireland. 65, I think.
Under 65?
Yeah.
Oh,
If not, now you can get into, you know, the trains for free and all that stuff. But if you want to rent a car, you can't if you're over 65.
really,
wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's
So-
pretty amazing.
I think it was also the first country to allow gay marriage.
Probably. And isn't it amazing, you know, to
Yeah.
go from where you see it back then with no patty fingers to
they
to
also
gay marriage.
they
Yeah.
also passed one of the first no smoking laws, like the
Oh,
entire
I
country,
was
the whole
actually,
country.
yes,
Yeah.
I was actually there when they passed, the day that they passed the law that you couldn't smoke in the pubs. And I had visions of people rising up and screaming because, you know, they can't smoke. And I swear to you, there was nothing. Nobody was complaining.
Yeah.
A lot of the guys would go outside and they'd smoke. And I've been smoking here for 55 years, but if there's no smoking, they just went outside and they smoked. It was amazing to me, amazing, because I was expecting, you know, to shield myself from people up in arms about smoking in pubs. And the other thing that was so strange when I was there, and if you've been in Ireland, if you've ever been in a pub that people have smoked in, it's like the smoke is in the rafters and the bar and in the chairs, and you know, you can smell the smoke, that awful stale smoke. None of it smelled like smoke, none of the bars, and not just one. I mean, every bar I went into, I kept thinking, I'm going to smell smoke, and I never smelled smoke. I don't know what they did or how they did it, but somehow there was no smell of smoke in the bars or the pubs at all. Don't know how, but they did it. So
I got a picture. I'll see if I can send it to you. But it's a picture in Ireland of kind of warning about drinking and driving. It says don't have that fifth pint. You know, yeah.
yeah, well,
Driving, don't have that fifth
that's
pint.
right. Yeah,
Yeah. Because you're okay with 4 Guinness.
Way to
yeah,
cut
four
it
is
off.
fine. Four,
Yeah.
yeah, or the mother's milk, which is Jameson's.
Yeah.
You know, when I was growing up, you could not have Bushmills. You better drink Jameson's. And then when I got older, I tried Bushmills, and I really, really liked Bushmills, but Bushmills was Protestant.
Protestant. Yep.
Yeah, and the Jameson's was Catholic. But then when all of the distilleries went to France, and there was no difference really. I mean, they were all distilled in France now. So I just laughed because I had relatives tell me, and this is true, when I was in Ireland and I was drinking. Well, this was a guy from Scotland, a relative, and he said, "Don't be drinking that, excuse my French, Protestant piss. Let me give you a real drink." And then he went out to his trunk and he pulled out some Scotch whiskey that, of course, he proceeded to give to me, which was like, okay, got it.
And they spell whiskey wrong in Scotland.
Pardon me?
I said they spell whiskey wrong in Scotland. They left the E off.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. But I even had my husband, who had never seen, well, I told you already, he had never seen Quiet Man before, but it's just so fun. you know, so fun, so crazy, but so fun.
All right, Pete, you got the next.
I do, yes. So I'm a sales and marketing guy from way back, and this is one of my favorite movies that talks about that kind of work. From 1992, Glengarry Glen Ross.
Oh, I love that. Yeah,
Blockbuster cast.
yeah.
And I just think it's a fabulous movie. I don't know if any of you have seen it. Donna, sounds like
Yes.
maybe you have, but
I have,
the,
yeah.
the sales the sales item is real estate in this movie, but it's hopefully you'll
They
enjoy it.
only give us some decent leads.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that's right. The leads, yeah.
No, really, the cast is fantastic. Jack Lemmon.
Yeah, it's blockbuster. It really is.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I actually saw the play, you know, on well, it was in Chicago, but I saw the play in Chicago before it was a movie, and it's even, oh my God, even better. Just really good, really good.
There's also not. I don't want to give it. Well, I don't think this would give it away, but Alec Baldwin has a key role in this movie. There's one of the
Right.
most hilarious Saturday Night Live bits that you ever saw was Alec Baldwin doing a Santa's Workshop takeoff of
Yes.
Glengarry Glen Ross, which I'll
Yes.
find that. I'll send that out to you guys as well.
Yes,
But,
yes, that was hysterical.
hopefully
Yeah.
you'll enjoy it.
Yeah,
Time for recommendations.
yeah. Oh my God, that's a good one.
Anybody have any? By the way, I think I picked next week, so just so we know.
Okay.
I'll be the next speaker. I'm gonna
Good.
give a couple of recommendations out. Has anyone ever seen Night Sky?
What is it?
Night Sky. There's several
Yes.
movies named this, but this was recent series that was on Prime that you can still watch, and it's got Sissy Spacek and C.K. Simmons or J.K. Simmons.
Yes, I've seen it. Yes.
I watched part of it.
Yeah.
I watched the whole. I got hooked and I watched the whole thing. And
Is there going to be another season of that, Mike?
I don't know. I was going to
Yeah.
try to find that out, and I haven't.
It's a series.
Yeah,
It was
Yeah.
maybe an 8-parter or something, maybe, but yeah, I love that. It felt like it ended where they could do another season on that, possibly, right? I mean,
right. It
Yeah.
looked like they left it open,
yeah, exactly, definitely.
but if you're interested in something that'll grab your attention, and it's about old folks that are really our age, when I say old folks.
No, well, then they're not old. No, yeah.
But I thought it was pretty good. And then the other one, anybody catch Yellow Jackets last season? First season, it's about a girls soccer team that crashes in the mountains, and then it turns into Lord of the Flies with the girls soccer team in the mountains.
Yeah.
That's got a season 2 now on Showtime, and I just watched the first episode of that, and it's great. It's I enjoyed it the first time around, and they're coming back, and they've already got a third season purchased, so it's
Wow.
come around to the third. So those are mine anyway.
One of the recommendations, if I think you guys would like it, it is kind of Jack Ryan-ish, Night Agent. It's kind of a political thriller. You know, it takes place in Washington, D.C., FBI, CIA, Secret Service, all that kind of stuff. So if you like that Jack Ryan-ish kind of movie, it's called Night Agent. And I think my husband liked it.
Is that on
Pardon me?
HBO or is it on HBO?
I'm sorry, I
or
can't hear you,
Prime?
Mike. What?
Is it on HBO or Prime?
It is on Netflix.
Oh, it's on Netflix. Okay.
Yeah.
Terry, you'll be excited to know that there's another John Wick coming out.
All right.
$100 million budget, so there will be lots of gunfire in that one, I'm sure.
I barely even know what John Wick is. I've
Well,
I've
yeah,
heard the
it's-
name. I've never seen any of the movies. So
You know, Terry, I'm the same way. I always see these John Wicks, and I love Keanu Reeves, but I wanted to see the first one. And my God, it is so guns and violence and I just, maybe I have to give it another chance, but I couldn't get into it. It was just so much.
It's like
Am I wrong, or isn't it kind of over the top with guns? And isn't he an assassin?
It's kind of like a first-person shooter or video game. I mean, they
Yeah,
just shoot,
yeah,
shoot, shoot,
yeah,
shoot, shoot,
prob-
shoot, 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 shoot.
Yeah, exactly. I
Maybe
never
it
thought of it
is.
like that, but yeah. That's it. That's kind of how I was like, huh? I just could not get into it. And I wanted to, because I like him so much, but I just couldn't. Now,
I started
Matrix I
watching
like.
a Rabbit Hole today, which is
Oh.
the new Kiefer Sutherland. And
Was that any good?
well, I mean, I don't know if it's a recommendation or not. I still what is it? My vote is not in yet. I mean, it was interesting enough, for just sitting around. But what was his other show? 24 just seemed kind of like that action, adventure kind of intrigue.
It
But
seems like he's got a formula that he needs to keep himself in, and that's the only place he goes.
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, it is kind of weird that Kiefer, he doesn't make it to the big screen very much.
No.
Didn't he do that thing where he
Designated
was the
something.
designated survivor? Yeah.
Yeah.
Where he's the last guy of Congress or the cabinet or something.
Right.
The
right.
only one left in Washington who had anything to do with the government.
Yeah.
Was that
exactly.
good?
It was interesting. I mean, the whole premise is they blew up the Capitol at the State of the Union address, and he was the only guy that wasn't there. So he was left over to start the government up again. And then, of course,
Yeah.
all the states and the governors of the states kind of are getting their own ideas about what should happen. And he tries to wrangle them all to get things going. I don't remember how it went from there, but that was the premise.
Yeah. Hmm.
All right, anybody else?
I
Jeff,
saw some.
you had a great one there with Bono and the Edge.
Yeah, I haven't had a chance to watch much else this week.
That's cool. And then Matt,
Glad you guys-
are you going to try to check in with us while you're gone for 3 weeks?
Yeah, I hope to. It all depends on Wi-Fi at campgrounds.
Hey, I got one that I'd written down a few weeks ago that I think us baseball fans will like. It's called Game 6.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, you can imagine what Game 6 that was.
One of Mahoney's favorite subjects.
Really?
What are you talking about? I'm talking about the Cubs and
Oh, never
Mets.
mind. Never mind.
Yeah, 1986.
There
It's-
is no other Game 6. 1985.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, it's a lot of baggage to carry around, but good luck with that.
Cardinals had a tough day Sunday.
Did they? How so?
24-1.
Ooh. Well, that doesn't count. So
Clock didn't help them any, huh?
So, Mike Matson, do you know have you ever tried using the hotspot on your cell phone to get your Wi-Fi signal?
No.
If you can get a phone signal, you can turn on your hotspot and you can get your computer signal through your phone. You're not dependent on the Wi-Fi of wherever you are.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, try that. You have an iPhone or
Yeah.
just look at the personal hotspot in your settings. And you can go to that and you'll have, if you have a cell phone signal, you'll have a Wi-Fi signal.
Okay.
Cool.
You can also get an app that'll tell you all the hotspots that are in your area.
Huh.
And then you can use somebody else's phone to get wireless.
That's why I prefer to go to breweries. So
Oh, there you go.
What's the matter with that?
That's your Irish coming out.
Hey,
there you go.
don't have that fifth pint, though.
Yeah,
He's got a fifth wheeler, but he does not a fifth.
that's right. That's right.
All right, lads and lassies, I have to jump off.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Good to see
All right,
you.
everybody.
Nice
next
All
job,
right.
Mike,
See ya.
bringing us into it.
All right,
Yeah.
thanks, guys. See you later.
See you
was
guys
great.
and girls.
Okay.